What? Jimmy, what? What? That All right, grandpa. All right, grandpa. Time to get you to bed. Did you guys see what was going on with with the Putin simps recently? Did you see that the Moscow Manlet, AK-47, all of those guys, the Kremlin gremlins, all came together and had their big powwow? They like the Russia simps. They were like, Russia simps, unite! And they all came together for a big pro-war rally, pro-Putin rally. AK-47 is so disrespectful. Yeah, but it's so good. Yeah, the Leningrad losers. Okay, so let me show you this, okay? You may not have seen this, but it is quite remarkable, I must say. So what happened the other day is that Jimmy Dore, Jackson Hinkle, I think Haas, and a couple other people, hosted by the Libertarian Party and the People's Party, all came together in Washington, D.C. on the 19th to have a Rage Against the War Machine rally. Rage Against Ukraine for Russia. So they literally had a pro-Putin rally. Libertarianism. Yeah, I know, right? It literally... This one's edited. But it's funny nonetheless. But yeah, anyways, they had a Rage Against the, it's called Rage Against the War Machine, basically. And it was like a massive thing to say, oh, we're anti-war, we hate war, that's why we should allow Russia to roll over all of Ukraine and the Balkan states and everything, because it would be based in epic. And that would actually cause, allowing Russia to overthrow several European governments would be incredible and based, actually, and would be anti-war, and it would be gigapog. That was their whole thing, right? That was their whole thing. Yeah, it's just like a Russia propaganda rally that they had. It was quite remarkable, I must say. Dylan went there as well, which was very cool. Oh, and one of the really incredible things is that they even had an oath keeper, like somebody from like a far right not cool anti-government, like far right fucking fascist anti-government speaker there, Jordan Page, which is incredibly interesting. Rage Against the War Machine on February 19th at the Lincoln Memorial.
Hey guys, Jason Van Taten with Oath Keepers here with Jordan Page. We're here at the Page household with having our family Thanksgiving. We thought we'd take the time to extend our wishes to you and your family on this holiday. We hope you're having a great Thanksgiving as well. Jordan, you've got a new song coming out today.
Today, a worldwide release of Arm Yourselves in Act 3. It's a powerful Second Amendment anthem that Oath Keepers is an organization that I'm very involved with, and so is Jason. And
wow, that's crazy.
A song that speaks to a lot of the mission of Oath Keepers, and the mission of the song is to educate the public about what's really going on in the country and around the world, and that it's time that we arm ourselves spiritually and with force of arms, and as well as with the truth. And with all three of those things, we will be successful in fighting the enemies that we face.
And God,
man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And they had this guy speak. He was a headliner at the Rage Against the War Machine. That's great. Who could have seen this coming? What in the world? Oh man, you're telling me Dinkle and friends would do something like this? That's wild. Okay, one moment. Wait, they had a straight up like Russian propagandist talk as well. Look at this. They had Garland Nixon speak. Now, it's impossible to watch sports in America without constantly idolizing the military and war. The U.S. has transformed completely into a totalitarian war machine. The cultural infrastructure is used to promote militarism. So true, bro. And he made this tweet. A wedding in Ukraine with the nation's salute. Nothing to see here. Oh, yeah. Oh, he was one of these guys who would find people holding random flags and then post pictures and post the edited pictures of that to say it was actually Ukraine flags that they were holding when it wasn't. Holy crap. This is one of the most disgusting forms of like misinformation that's being, yeah, me having fun spreading misinformation online. He's just one of those guys. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude. That's wild. Chemical weapons found in Bucha. Oh, yes. Everything Russia does is literally a false flag created by the US government. So true. Hey, remember when these guys said that Russia invading Ukraine was a false flag created by the US government as well? I wonder what happened with that. That's wild how that works out. Oh, man. I wonder what happened then. That's wild. All right, then. There's this. Good friends. Good friend Dinkle. Rage Against War is a complete fraud. They're pro-war featuring speakers who absolutely fucking totally stand with Putin in his decision to launch a special military operation.
This was the only thing, and he actually prevented more deaths. As of right now, you know, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen.
If something crazy fucking happens, that happens, and, you know, we can talk about it when we talk about it.
Oh, wait. It's a little quiet for you guys, isn't it? I know, some of these things are a little quiet on your end.
This was the only thing, and he actually prevented more deaths. As of right now, you know, who knows what's going to happen. If something crazy fucking happens, that happens, and, you know, we can talk about it when we talk about it. But as of right now, 100,010% absolutely fucking totally stand with Putin and his decision to launch this special military operation. And
I love war. I love war. And actually, I love war. Me when I'm anti-war. What is his hair? It's a 22-year-old's version of a comb over because he's losing his hairline. 11 months ago today, there weren't many people who defended Russia. So true. The moment they decided to launch their invasion into Ukraine, don't forget those of us who stood up against the propaganda from day one. I loved war from day one. Is quite the flex, I must say.
This was the only thing.
Is quite the flex, I must say. Band Z t-shirts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, when he was literally, bro, isn't this literally war profiteering? Can I be honest? Isn't this literally war profiteering? Him making videos about the war over and over and over again, simply to be like, look at us, look at them dunking on the they them army. Like, isn't this actually literally war profiteering from a supposed? Well, I was gonna say leftist. He's simply a conservative. Forgot about that. It's just t-shirts. Get your war crime t-shirts here. Hey, go, hey, two for 35, 1 for 25. To get the war t-shirts, come on, boot your grave sites, get your war t-shirts here. Hey, like, okay, all right, buddy. Z shirts, me when I'm completely anti-war. God, I love being anti-war. Probably one of my favorite things in the world. Just a live stream. Oh,
I'm Aaron Mate sitting.
And Aaron Mate, of course. Wait 1 second. Holy crap! Oh, geez, man, they're tweeting so damn much. Oh no, they even had a white woman with a ukulele there? What in the world? What is happening? They had Jill Stein there? Tulsi Gabbard was talking? Oh man. That's crazy. No way? Yes. Yes way. Here, one moment. Here she is. Well, here's Tulsi. Here's literal unironic Tulsi, who had to drop out of being a politician because she was going against what the wishes of her constituents were. Wait, these are the people who came? Wait, that's it? Wait, that's everybody? Wait a second, you had like two or at least one sitting politician and like some pretty well-known faces, and those are the only people that showed up? That's crazy. That's crazy. Also, you need to be careful when it comes to a lot of this. When you're like, oh, there are actually more people there than they say. Remember, they were doing this in the middle. They were doing this in the middle of Washington, of the Lincoln Memorial, right? People go there all the time just to see. So you can't say like all these people back there were the, yeah, and Jill Stein was there. You can't say all the people back there were people there for the thing. They only for their rally, because they're just there to see the Lincoln Memorial. Dark Brandon destroyed Nord Stream. Now that's true. Now that part's true. Here, I don't know. Let's listen to a couple of speeches. Let's see what they have to say. Jillston.
All right. Wow. You are beautiful. It is so wonderful to be here today, to see us all across the political spectrum. And I just want to say, in my experience, it's not so much a matter of right or left. It's really a question of the few elites at the top versus all the rest of us. And that's what they are afraid of.
Where's this panning going? What's happening?
So we're here today not just to rage against the war machine. We're here to dismantle the war machine because it is hurting us all. No one more than the people of Ukraine, who are the cannon fodder in this superpower proxy war. We need a movement to overcome the powerful special interests behind the war machine, the war profiteers, the fossil fuel barons, the health insurance barons who are profiting from the carnage.
Huh? Health insurance barons? What? Wait, wait. Is she saying that health insurance providers were behind the war in Ukraine so they could have more people who were injured so they could make more money off of them? What proof do you have of any of that? Yeah, apparently Ukrainian soldiers are on American health insurance, I guess. Or Russian health insurance, I guess. War profiteers, Jimmy Dore.
And in the interests of building that movement, I want to clarify today some of the forbidden truths that we are not supposed to talk about.
Holy shit, she's going to talk about Jews.
Empowering truths the war machine does not want us to know. This is especially for the benefit of the people who are just waking up to realize that we are all in the crosshairs of this crisis. Martin Luther King spoke the first forbidden truth nearly 60 years ago, that the U.S. war machine is the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today. And it is much bigger now, and it's impoverishing and endangering us all. It squanders 2/3 of our discretionary budget. It puts at grave risk virtually every dimension of our security: nuclear, economic, food, climate, energy, everything. Left to its own devices, the war machine, with its proxy NATO, will destroy life on the planet. It is in the process of doing that right now. The dimensions of the...
Okay. All right. See, my thing is, we've talked about this before. What the fuck is she saying? She's trying to bring up Martin Luther King to justify why we should allow Russia to, like, obliterate Ukraine. Okay.
Well, Russian military budget. $1 billion military budget is equivalent to the next 9 military budgets combined, and the $100 billion we are spending to support war in Ukraine, that alone is greater than the entire annual Russian military budget. We've conducted over 250 military interventions in the past 20 years alone, and killed a staggering 6 million people in just a portion of the so-called U.S. war on terror. This murderous military spending...
So here's the thing. All of this is all a non sequitur. None of this has anything to do with Russia or Ukraine. None of this has anything to do with Russia or Ukraine. The U.S. military bad, okay? U.S. military doesn't have boots on the ground in Ukraine. And even if they did, they'd be doing it for a good reason. Okay? All of this is why a lot of this seems like to the surface for some people who may be uninitiated. It may seem like it's making a sense, at least a little bit, but it doesn't make any sense. U.S. military bad. Good. Okay. Can the U.S. military do good things? Yes. And can we use the military budget on good things? Yes, absolutely. 100%. Like, if we use some of the military budget for, like, what's it called? Like, National Guard to help people out of, like, a flood area, that'd be great. That'd be a good thing. That'd be great. If we use some of that money to help people, like, fight against a war of aggression that wants to overthrow and subjugate their entire country, yeah, that'd be a great thing. Yes, 100%. So true. They're not even trying to pretend to take the position of everybody should get out of the war. Like, the war should just stop tomorrow, right? Just period. It's stop funding Ukraine so they can stop fighting back against Russia. That's what they want. They want Russia to win. Here's the thing, all right? We talked about it before. If Russia rolls over Ukraine and then now it's on the border with Poland, that's going to be even worse than if not. That's going to be even worse. Things are going to get worse. Russia doesn't want to stop. Russia has geopolitical interests, and the geopolitical wants to reclaim all the old Soviet satellite states. That's what they're trying to do. They've said as much before with Putin's original speech when he was declaring war on Ukraine. Yeah, it's just insane. Here's a ukulele woman that I was talking about earlier.
It's great to be here.
Oh, never mind. It's it's Dore.
It's really encouraging to see so many people come out like this. It really warms my heart. I'm reminded when I look out here of my friend Barry Crimmins, who is and that's a shame because the two parties in America, time. At least Macy's figured out how to make a balloon look like somebody. They could attack us with Superman or something. Would Mickey Mouse's adorable ears eavesdropping on our cell phone conversations be so much worse than the NSA? I don't think so. Do you know we could end this war today?
Holy, is this his attempts at stand-up comedy? Wait a second, I just realized through his cadence, he's trying to do comedy. Oh my goodness. All right then. So true, bro.
Through diplomacy, but our politicians want to enrich weapons manufacturers so they keep donating to them to the tune of $100 billion. Chris Hedges has called America a mafia state. Systems of governance that are seized by a tiny cabal become mafia states. The military-industrial complex and the Ukraine war represent an orgy of looting and corruption. America is the most powerful mafia that has ever existed. And the hitmen in that mafia have military pilot licenses.
Where's the CCP flag in the background? Don't worry about it, okay? Listen, Taiwan's next. For these guys, Taiwan is next. They want Taiwan to be they want Taiwan to be nuked by China too soon. So that's why they're preparing for their next war of aggression and adventure. But this time in the Taiwan Strait. It has to be one of the biggest disappointments in the last few years, honestly.
The difference between our government these days and the mafia in the 1940s, well, the mafia in the 1940s helped defeat the Nazis. They used longshoremen and union leaders. It's a sad day when you can't even trust the mafia anymore. Do you know what America really needs? We need to take the money out of Ukraine and give it to everybody here so we can buy a balloon and a gun.
Huh? What is... Hey, I love comedy. Hey, balloon, Biden. Hey, my pronouns, fuck you. My pronouns, kiss my ass. Balloon. Hey, orange man bad. Hey, my pronouns, my gender is, fuck you. How about, hey, my pronouns, hey, comedy, I love comedy. Hey, you know you can't tell jokes anymore. Did you know that? Hey, did you heard that hey, how about they cancel they Netflix subscription and maybe they have more money like me to buy a balloon and a gun. Hey, my gender is kiss my ass. Hey, I'm canceled. I love comedians. I want to make an anti-comedian video one day. One day I need to make an I hate comedians, bro. This is Dore. Yeah, that's him. I hate comedians, bro. I hate them so much. They're so annoying. Oh man. I don't know, people who make it their personality to be a comedian, they always seem like they suck. I have yet to meet somebody whose personality is being a comedian who isn't like a horrible person. It may just be me. Let me know. I may be being too harsh on them. They're not obviously not all comedians, But like every single comedian is just like, it's just like that. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Silent Show with canceled Mick. I can't say this face. Hey, you ever been on Twitter recently? I haven't. They're pretty crazy over there. It seems like they got more gender than brain cells. Hey, my pronouns are kiss my ass. Hey, you can't say stuff like this anymore. You can't hear stuff like this anymore. I'm canceled. Yeah, I was walking up the other day, over to some blue-haired white people, and I was like, hey, which direction is this? And they're like, it's the neighborhood. You can't be here. And I'm like, what are you, an NPC? Hey, did Biden take your chip out? You don't worry about COVID anymore, do you? Hey, I think you're wearing your mask wrong. It should be over your eyes, sheeple. Hey, my gender is kiss my ass. It's just welcome to 2023 comedy.
It's the only way we can settle this. We all need to be floating around shooting each other down out of the sky. Better yet, the guns shoot vaccine syringes.
You remember? I'm not even, it's he don't miss. Many people heard that and they were like, Shark, he's being hyperbolic. Everything I said, I don't miss. Okay? I wasn't joking. I wasn't joking. It's all this all the time. They're so predictable. Yeah, finger guns. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Is he gonna make a point? Because it's just been him failing at comedy this whole time.
Yeah, that's America. Eat boosters, you motherfuckers. America is so corrupt, even our Peace Prize winners are war criminals. Barack Obama won a Peace Prize, and he immediately ramped up the war in Afghanistan, starting bombing Libya, put a hit, I don't know.
Isn't this supposed to be you about Ukraine and Russia?
I'm been enough money to Ukraine to buy everybody a tank of gas.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hey, anybody seen the gas prices recently? Oh, but how old is that joke, Jimmy? When did you write that? What was that, like 5 months ago? Not a single chuckle. Obama. This type of routine only gets played for pity claps. Holy shit. Can you be serious for one moment, Jimmy? I beg of you.
For all the money we've given to Ukrainians, do you know how
Another
many
joke.
eggs we could buy? Almost a dozen.
Please stop.
With $100 billion, you know, they could say you could end homelessness for $20 to $40 billion. We could have ended homelessness, then restart homelessness, then say we were only kidding, and then end it again. We can't end homelessness in America. We can't even fix the bridges that the homeless people live under. That's how corrupt we are. Every American for $100 billion could have had a home. But it's way more important that we make sure nobody in Ukraine has a home, because now it's going to be turned into a crater.
It's just, damn, he didn't even get not a single laugh for that one either. Hey, Gabagool, I'm sleeping. It's gonna keep going. It won't stop. Is it just 13? Dude, you can't make this set go on for 13 minutes. I don't even think Jimmy has enough material for a 3-minute set, let alone a 13-minute set. Hey, I'm buying gas here. Hey, Joe Biden. Could fail. I failed conservative comedy. Holy throws a tomato. Take Grandpa's mic away, please. I'm begging you. Oh my goodness. It's just, I don't know what they want. Well, I do know what they want. They want Russia to control Ukraine. But like, here's the thing that, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in a bit.
We could give every homeless person in America $160,000. Or if we want to help Americans but still show our support for Ukraine, we could buy every homeless person in the United States 7,000 Ukraine flag fleece blankets.
Nice one. I was actually gonna stop him and go. I was gonna pause and say, "Oh, you can get him in America. You can buy a Ukraine flag emoji. Hey, you can buy him an iPhone so they can put an American flag emoji in their Twitter bio. Hey, nice one. Nice one. The cringe is not worth it. What are their solutions? What are their solutions that they think is going to work? That's what I'm genuinely curious about. Oh, also, we have enough money to give the money to Ukraine and help homeless people. Why aren't they just pushing for like policies to help homeless people right now? We don't need to move money around. We just need to put more money into homelessness. And here's the thing, like here's the thing. None of these people like really care about voting, but like how in the world are you going to outvote the NIMBYs? Because that's the problem. The people who like have the money, it's not like all the people who have the money in the country are, and this is why they don't understand leftism. This is why they're not leftists, and this is why they pretend. It's because just because you're not like a politician does not mean that you don't have a vested interest in like homeless people not being in like housed. Right? Even politicians have a vested interest in homeless people being housed to a degree, because homeless people definitely don't vote. Your average person doesn't vote, but homeless people definitely don't vote. If they could help homeless people, get them off the street, get them into a house, and then have them vote for them for the next like 100 years, and then have their like children and children's children vote for them, and their party, that'd be great. The problem is there are people who aren't a politician who don't want them to have houses because they're NIMBYs. Those people have money, have houses, have property, but they don't want other people to have it because it will ruin their property value. It's a very clear understanding. Jimmy Dore is one of these people. He lives in like a multi-million-dollar California home. Okay, this dude's rich, filthy rich, even. And Dinkle wants to get there, and Haas wants to get there. All of these people are just capitalists, coping for capitalism while pretending not to at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know people who may not even have that much money who are against giving money to poor people. You may know poor people who are against giving money to poor people. Like, things are way deeper than the politicians, it's us versus them. No, it's us versus them and us versus us as well. It's not that simple.
For $100 billion, we could buy every person on earth.
God, Lord,
woman,
stop.
Child in America, an opportunity to pick something really.
He's still going.
Capture. Isn't that special? We could have gotten like 5.
He's still going. This single joke.
We could have funded everyone.
He's still going. I'm losing it. What's happening? I've skipped like 3 minutes into it. Is he not going to make any points? It's just a never-ending bit. It's the bit that never ends. It's the Oh my goodness. No points, only bits. Is this the most amount of people he's had come to a crowd in so long? Is he unironically not here for like the war thing? He's just reading off like the comedy script that he made a while ago, but he wanted to use it finally since he's never had a crowd this big before. So instead of him actually being here for the anti-war thing, he's just using his own normal material, but just in a longer session because they can't take the mic from him yet because they gave him a 13-minute allotment. Holy crap, it's just a show. It's just a show for him. This is crazy. Damn, wait, look down here. Wait, you can even see it. Wait, let me move my camera. This is crazy. The women who are down here who are looking and who are like paying attention a little while ago, they're just like they couldn't give a shit now. They're just like people have started to get so bored. They're like they're playing like they're like sharing like pictures of cats with each other on their phone. That's crazy. This is so narcissist. This is wild to me. You brought everybody. This whole thing was just a ploy for you to have your own comedy stand-up bit? Really?
Everyone having free college instead of buying a Mount Kilimanjaro's worth of blow for Zelensky.
So true. Drugs.
Why are we sending that money to Nazis in Ukraine? when we could be funding Nazis here in America struggling to buy eggs.
What? Jimmy, what? What? That. All right, Grandpa. All right, Grandpa. Time to get you to bed. Funding Nazis to buy eggs. He's like he's one of the people who are like Nazis wouldn't be Nazis as long as we like give them as long as Nazis have like a job and they could buy eggs, they won't be Nazis anymore. But he doesn't care about like brown people, so he jumped the shark. Freudian slip? No, he's reading off a paper. That's his joke. He wrote that down. He rehearsed it in the mirror. He knows what's going on. Who's that? You know what this guy, you know Jimmy Dore? He's like, somehow he's like dark. You know that guy who comes on the H3 every now and again, Jimmy Lee? He's like a dark version of Jimmy Lee. Somehow he's like Jimmy Lee, but worse. I only noticed until now. I put the 2 and 2 together. it's just he's like Jimmy Lee if he became like a weirdo pretend lefty conservative politician or a conservative like talking head. That's crazy.
Isn't that just like our government to neglect all the Nazis we have here in America? This is really a fight over nuclear war. Just across the road.
Holy crap, holy crap. 8 minutes in, he's starting to get to a point.
There's a statue of Albert Einstein, and man, he looks depressed. He once said, if I could do it all over again, I'd be a plumber. You know why he said that? I thought it was because his toilet was always backed up. It was because the military-industrial complex used his science to kill people. They took Einstein's discovery and used it to melt the skin of Japanese civilians. Entire cities full of children and animals extinguished in less than a minute. Generations poisoned by radiation. Bombs today are much more powerful than those bombs we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I know there's some people who wouldn't show up to this peace rally, this anti-war rally, because of some of the speakers they didn't like on this stage. And I get what they're saying. They're saying, hey, I want to help stop a nuclear war, but not with those people. I get it. I'm the same way. My house caught on fire a couple of months ago, and when the firemen showed up, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
You're black.
What's your views on Social Security and Medicare?
Nice one. Nice one. Yes, Jimmy, Nazis are back. Oh, dude. What is happening? I didn't even look into this. I didn't know that all of this was happening. This is horrendous. This is genuinely just sad. I don't know, it's just like, I think they're drumming up this thing about like nuclear war, mostly because, so you know what's really interesting? You know what's really funny? Is that these are the same types of people who were, because this is one of the people who was at the pro-war rally that they had, right? Russia is not going to invade Ukraine. China is not going to invade Taiwan. If you believe this, then you're likely to believe anything that comes out of the mouth of the warmongering U.S. foreign policy establishment. Anyone knows how the MSN and Biden admin has cut Ukraine president out of the statements on Putin's so-called plan to invade? This goes to show you that even if you are leading a U.S.-backed coup government, you can fall out of favor quick if you don't do what NATO's bidding. Right? This is like a couple days before the invasion took place in Ukraine last year, which is truly remarkable. Truly remarkable, right? So all of these people, every single one of these people, back before Russia decided to invade Ukraine, back before Russia invaded Ukraine, because they decided a long time before that, invaded Ukraine, all of them were like, oh, this is just U.S. warmongering. This is just U.S. war profiteering. This is just the U.S. trying to make people hate Russia. They're not going to do that. Putin wouldn't do that. That makes no sense. And then, boom. The second it happened, they all switched from it's not going to happen to it happened and it's good, actually. All of them. So my question is, what's really interesting is, so you didn't believe the U.S. when we said that Russia's going to invade Ukraine, but now you believe the U.S. But now you believe them when they say that like there is a threat of nuclear war breaking out or something. Don't you believe that's just another way to make Russia look bad? Wouldn't this just be another like anti-Russian propaganda that's being put up by the U.S. State Department to gin up more hate against Russia and its oligarchs and everything, and Putin and the war and everything? Why do you believe this now? Why do you believe everything the U.S. government says now? I think it's just strange. It's curious even. All of these people are like RT stands too, so it does make sense. Yeah, it's curious how that works out, right? If I'm going to tell you my opinion, I don't believe that. Yeah, their opinions aren't like, they don't have like real opinions. It's just that they just think America bad, and that's their only, and America's the only reason why things happen in the world. Other parts of the world don't have their own culture. They don't have their own ideas. They don't have their own problems, especially none that have existed before America existed. And they don't have any problems that exist without America basically controlling all of it. We control everything that happens in the world. We're like the world god. If somebody dies in the world, it's because of America. If somebody's born, it's because of America. If bad things happen, it's because of America. And that's just kind of it, right? It's stupid because it's an incredibly America-centric view of the world. Places in the world have their own issues. Places in the world have their own problems. Everywhere in the world has things that are going on, especially if they're like older countries that have things going on that do not have America's, that the root of it is not America. Stop thinking that everything in the world happens because of America. The problems happening between Ukraine and Russia are not because of America. And if they are, it's because America didn't do anything, not because they did. When Russia was coming up into like the Putin era, and they were making moves to like grab the Donbass and grab like Crimea, that was not happening because of America. Russia did that because they had the ability to do it, because they didn't believe that America or the rest of like NATO or the European bloc or anything were going to do anything about it. And you know what? He was right. He was right. We're in this problem today because I know America and NATO didn't do anything. Then, and like the World Security Council, and we just didn't do anything. We just didn't give a shit. All right. We just didn't give a shit. We were sending politicians to Russia. We were building the Nord Stream pipeline while Russia was like a seizing area in the Donbass and seizing Crimea. We were doing all of this type of stuff. And while Ukraine was just getting like bits and pieces of them taken from them, even Poland was in Red Square marching and doing military drills with the Russian government. American troops were, British troops were, Australian troops were, Chinese troops were. Russia's place in the world, like pre-2014 and even post-2014, all the way up until 2022, was great. They were perfectly fine, honestly. They were getting closer and closer to Ukraine. Sorry, they were like taking more and more land from Ukraine. Nobody in the world gave a shit. Europe was building the Nord Stream pipeline and Nord Stream 2 for Russia to exert even more power and influence over Europe. Honestly, if Nord Stream 2 and Europe became more and more reliant on Russia to be able to get their power, I honestly don't think support for Russia would be as high. Support against Russia would be as high as it is at the moment, because like European nations it would be way harder for them to like actually stand up against Russia, because Russia would have way more power over their infrastructure than they do at the moment. The only reason things are honestly falling apart is because Putin pulled the trigger too quick. I think he would have been able to get away with a lot of stuff if he would have just waited. Like if he would have packed troops on the Ukraine border, and then after the US like said that they were going to invade, and then Putin decided to not invade, America would have looked horrible. Can you imagine how much like clout people like people like Dore and Dinkle and all these types of people would have had if like the Biden administration was ringing the bells that there was going to be an invasion happening, and Putin was like, what are you talking about? There's no invasion happening. And then he actually didn't invade. That would have been so good for him. That would have been crazy for him. People definitely, like, that would have shaken NATO. He may have been able to break NATO apart, but all he's done is push Ukraine closer to the EU and NATO, strengthen NATO to a point stronger than it had been in the last like probably 30 years, and make Russia's position in the world like near untenable. It's just ridiculous. But apparently it's America's fault.
I mean, I get this is a scary situation. My house is on fire. But first, I need to get your stance on LGBTQ and gender-affirming surgery.
So true. I hate trans people.
I know my house is
Damn, not a single fucking laugh. Holy, no, he's gonna dig deeper to try and get a laugh.
burning down, but are you vaxxed? I need to see proof of at least one booster. I guess you don't get to put out my fire then. Attended to
It's still going?
like in a hotel, but maybe you do get to survive. And that's the whole point. Save the nitpicking for Whole Foods.
I thought he was gonna say something crazy.
The people who won't be attending today had never any intentions of doing so. And if it wasn't one of the speakers, it would have been the weather. It would have been because they have more important things to do than survive.
There are more important things to do than go to this rally. And honestly, the more I look at it, the more I knew I made the correct decision not to go. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. Trans-vaxxed, blue-haired balloons. So true.
They'll be home watching CNN not cover this all day. The people who don't want to attend this rally because they...
Oh my gosh. Can you talk about... Okay. You go to a rally and the only thing you do is talk about the people who didn't go to the rally? Really? Really? It's just... That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Holy. All right, is there anything let's take a look to see if there's anything else going on. So thank you, Sarah. They laid about Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, but trust them on Ukraine, diplomacy now. I don't know who's them, but trust them. Who's them? Who's they? Who are you talking about? There's no them and they I trust. I trust myself and the research I've done into looking into this, and everything seems like near perfectly fine. Them, yeah, they. Who are you talking about, bro? What are you saying? And what do you mean diplomacy now? Russia doesn't want diplomacy. It's the craziest thing is everybody keeps screaming diplomacy. What diplomacy does Russia want? What do they want? What does Russia want? What diplomacy? You know that there was diplomacy already after Crimea, after the Donbass. Russia didn't abide by any of the laws that they did. One moment. As missiles rained down Thursday, Ukraine city, and Russia's forced to report. Russian forces reportedly making a blitz to Kyiv. One thing was painfully clear: weeks of marathon diplomatic efforts led by the U.S. had come to nothing. Bro, what do you mean? Like everybody tries to pretend, like all these people try to pretend like there was no diplomacy happening. Ukraine offered many things to Russia. They didn't want them. They said no. And they invaded anyways. What more do you want? I'm genuinely curious. What the type of diplomacy they want is Russia gets everything that they ask for, and everybody in Ukraine just kills themselves. That's the type of diplomacy they only care about. That's not diplomacy. That's called bullying. That's called imperialism, actually. That's called colonialism, actually. That's not diplomacy. Wait 1 second. I have like a wacky article for you. You may like this one. It's quite remarkable. Look, I mean, like, Ukraine offers to never join NATO during peace talks, as Russia says it's pulling back assaults near Kyiv. Listen, I don't know what these people want. Also, fuck off. I don't know what these people want. If I'm going to be honest with you, like they're like, oh, do negotiations. They literally, Russia doesn't want NATO on its borders, even though NATO's already on its borders. Ukraine offered to never join NATO. You know what Russia did? It kept bombing. It's obvious that what Russia wants is not them to not join NATO. What they want is to destroy Ukraine. You can't negotiate with somebody who does that. And I wouldn't even think that they would care because Russia's already like reneged on their negotiations that they already did with Ukraine. It's just, I don't know, it's just completely ridiculous. They don't care. They simply do not care. Never have, never will. Hey, what is this? Thank you, libertarians. Very cool. Dore 24. So true. I think they should run. Who the hell is this?
Podcaster and impersonation extravaganza, China, from New Hampshire.
He's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Look, oh my goodness. I love comedians.
And I host a podcast with this guy right here.
Bro, I'm comedian phobic.
Got any Four Horsemen fans here? Couple of. Wow, what an event today. So in 2008, I drove Senator Mike Gravel all around New Hampshire. Do you remember Mike Gravel? Oh, yeah! Little hill. wherever it is.
Dude, Mike Gravel would beat your ass if he was still alive today.
And also in 2008, I became friendly with Dennis Kucinich and Ron Paul. How about those guys?
Who cares? Ron Paul, nice.
We came in second place with 24%.
Who cares?
We are sick and tired of fucking war. Yep. We're done. We've had enough of their wars. We've had enough of their lies, their propaganda, their bullshit. And that's what today is all about. And I was disappointed that a certain former independent governor from Minnesota wasn't here today. Jesse Ventura. Do we like Jesse Ventura? So I couldn't make it today.
Okay. Here, one moment. Let's see. Oh my gosh, the monkeys are still playing in the background. I forgot about that. I gotta rewind so when we're done, you guys can see the monkeys again. Jesse Ventura. Here, look at this. Kudos to Rage Against War and the incredible March for Peace this weekend. Looks like Rage Against War broke through. Mentions. Hey, my insane shit mentioned. Hey. All right then. Okay then. Mentions by media type? Just mentions? Or just 25? Oh, is this not like 1,000 or like 100? It's just like 50? All right then. Ron Paul's speech. Oh yeah, that's something, all right. I have no clue who the fuck that guy is. Reporter who spent time in Donetsk describes Zelensky's actions in the region as state terrorism. I don't say that lightly. I bet you do.
I'm Aaron Maté, sitting in for Jimmy Dore, here with Americans comedian Kurt Metzger and the miserable liberal Steph Zamorano. And
what is this hair?
There was a big rally in Washington, D.C. this weekend, Rage Against the War Machine. Voices from the left and the right calling out the proxy war in Ukraine. And among the speakers was our very own Jimmy Dore.
Do you know we can end this war today through diplomacy, but our politicians want to enrich weapons manufacturers so they keep donating to them to the tune of $100 billion.
No, you can't. You cannot end the war tomorrow with diplomacy. You cannot. Yeah, my question would be, what does Russia want from Ukraine that you think would actually end, that Ukraine could give that would actually end the war? That'd be my question. Like what could it possibly be? Because land. Yeah, just give up all of your country. Just stop existing. And then, because that's like diplomacy, right?
They said our enemy was in Serbia when I was a teenager. Here, our war starts today. Can you dig it?
Which
he said, can you dig it? Holy shit, fucking geezer filled.
You know, they didn't participate in the rally. Like Caleb didn't speak. And I don't know what that guy was thinking. I don't know if but they like to do like this LARPing cosplay stuff, and they do it at their conferences, and they, you know, discredit themselves as much as they can in the eyes of anyone who doesn't already agree with them. So if that's what they want to do, fine, but just don't do it on my time, in my space. And that's what they did. And I really,
so they're just like idiots. That's so much.
I think we got there at the same time. When again, it sucks that I have to address this at the beginning of what talk about what was really, I think, a very successful event. But there was this character, Matthew Heimbach, that all the haters of the rally are talking about. And he was a former neo-Nazi who was a very suspect character from a group called Adam Waffen, which actually had people fighting.
What is this? What are you talking about?
Congress on very opposite sides of the spectrum. So Max, talk to us about, you know, what this rally was about and how it went.
Well, I went first. I was designated to go first, and the organizers asked me to set the tone for the rally. And I tried to do that. And I did that by invoking the bonus army, which encamped just a few blocks from where I live here in Southeast Washington, D.C.
Russian military also did their big push already. Oh, wait, I did hear that they were planning like a big push. Did they do it already? Did it fail? Did it fail that bad that I didn't even hear about it? Is that true? I did know they were planning that. I do know there are also like a bunch of troops a bunch of Russian troops on the Belarusian border. Wait, the ex-communications director of the American Nazi Party was there? What? I got friends in low places.
On the banks of the Anacostia River. In 1932, these were veterans who'd been betrayed and denied their benefits and their bonuses from World War I at the dawn of the Great Depression. Of all the attacks on this rally, because it's bringing together people who identify with left and right. It's bringing together people who are defying these artificially imposed cultural barriers. And then the other point that I wanted to make in my speech was that the people I've met as a journalist on the other side of the U.S. guns, in the targets of empire, whether it's Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, in the Gaza Strip, where I've sat with people in the rubble of their homes, where their families have been slaughtered by U.S.-supplied bombs by the Israeli apartheid army, whether it was in Damascus, where they're suffering so harshly under U.S. sanctions right now during an earthquake, and they saw their city surrounded by U.S. and Gulf-backed jihadist death squads. Those people don't care what our political affiliation is here. They don't care if we're boosted and masked or unvaccinated, vaccinated, if we support Trump or if we support Bernie Sanders. They don't care.
Honey Naburios, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Incredibly kind. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Incredibly kind. Thank you. Maupin invited the Nazi guys directly. I did see this. I didn't read it yet.
Yeah, Lori, can you stop this interview? Can you just stop this interview? We have nothing to say about this. This has nothing to do with our organization. And he said all kinds of stuff there, but if we comment on anything he said there, no matter what, it'll be interpreted as us somehow endorsing this person and his past. We have nothing to do with this. And you know, there are all kinds of other people that could articulate things about this. We want nothing to do with this. This has nothing to do with us. And you know,
but why'd you invite him? Hey, this has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with us. I have nothing to do here. Anyways, I invited him. What the fuck? What the fuck? You just me when I invite literal Nazis to my into all of my rallies. I'm very nice and very cool and definitely a leftist. Also, did you see Aaron Mate? Apparently he's been screaming and crying and pissing and shitting. What was that haircut? Listen, they're not they're not known for having a good amount of style, okay? Don't worry about it. It's not good. He was mad that apparently his shitty rally only got like 10 seconds on TV.
Sunday in Washington, D.C., there was also a Rage Against the War Machine protest at the Lincoln Memorial, where former Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein and others spoke. Sunday in Washington, D.C.
That's so funny. It's because the Rage Against the War Machine was an embarrassment with about 300, yo, my boy. Well, about 300 people turning up, half a dozen pro-Russia speakers, Ritter, Blumenthal, Parmpil, their pro-Russian shills, Nixon, Hinkle, Gabbard, all conservative hacks. Yeah, like nobody, here's the thing. Nobody on this list is worth mention. Can I be completely honest with you? Nobody on this list is worth mention. If I'm like, oh, there was a Rage Against the War Machine, as they called it, rally in Washington, D.C., like who like with a bunch of damn YouTubers? Like, okay, cool. This just in, YouTubers held a rally. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact that you got 10 seconds is a lot. Ritter is a convicted pedophile. Wait, what? Is that true? Wait. That's not true, is it? Wait, no, this is the guy. Yeah, that's him right there. This is the guy. Criminal charges, sex offenses, unlawful contact with a minor, corruption of a minor, and indecent exposure. How did you not know? I don't keep up with these freaks. I don't know who any of these people are, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Holy, all right. So they bring Nazis, they bring PDF files into their party. Incredibly interesting stuff going on. Incredibly interesting stuff. That's quite remarkable, I must say. Wait. This is insane. Wait a second. Okay, so Ritter was set to speak, but they decided to not have him on because they actually realized that he was a PDF file. And so instead of that, they brought on somebody who's anti-Semitic to replace him. They're like, we need a guy to replace him, but he needs to be a horrible human being as well. And they're like, I got the guy. Let's bring an anti-Semite instead. Libertarian Party rally to oppose U.S. funding for Ukraine and urge heavy cuts to the Pentagon budget. Lost a pedophile as a speaker last week, but has since gained an anti-Semite. Former Democratic Congressman Cynthia McKinney will appear in the rally on the 19th. McKinney served in the House until 2007. Has an extensive history of peddling anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. In 2021, she claimed that Zionists were behind the Yo, she's like Jews did 9/11 beat? Really? That's crazy. Wait, what is this? What is this, 2005? And in 2020, she disputed that 6 million Jews were. She's a Holocaust denier too. McKinney joined the event days after U.S. weapons inspector and convicted pedophile Scott Ritter withdrew from the event following the Washington Free Beacon report on his criminal history. McKinney joins the rogues gallery of speakers whose controversial past raised questions about the integrity of the push to oppose the American aid to Ukraine. The rally also brought together the likes of Ritter and McKinney and high-profile libertarians and left-wing activists, including Representative Ron Paul and Tulsi Gabbard. I'm not sure if I'd call any of these people like left-wing, but in any way, shape, or form. Best known for their respective anti-Semitic leanings in defense of the Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, Gabbard will headline the event, which is being billed as the first major anti-war rally since the Russia-Ukraine war. That's crazy. These people are insane, dude. Pro Pinochet, chemtrail truther. Wait. Gaddafi? What is happening? Who are these people? This is crazy, dude. What the fuck? This is insanity. All right, then. Okay, buddy. Yeah, that's something.
Up next, we've got the man, the myth, the legend, the hero of the Liberty Movement, former presidential candidate, and former congressman. Let's give it up for Congressman Dr. Ron Paul.
Woo! Oh, my, yeah. Woo! Ron Paul, yeah.
In the Fed.
Wait a second. Libertarians love Ron Paul. They've even made like dubstep about him. There's even Ron Paul dubstep out there. I'm not joking. Remember? Oh, come on.
Minimize the federal government. When you have big state government, small federal government, our voices are heard at the local level. We can make differences. A whole continent wide cannot control a federal government with a banking system that prints money like it's paper. You can't even call it money anymore. Gold is money. Silver is money. Green dollars are not money.
Oh, it's so good. Are you ready to see what being senile really looks like after all the Biden jokes? Wait, is he old as dirt? Does he not even know where he is right now? Gold is money. Shiny rocks are money. Green paper is not money.
Oh, right over here.
No, somebody let this man go home. No, get him out of here. He's not supposed to be here. He doesn't even know where he is.
They stole my line. No, I was going to say and open up by saying thank you very much. I appreciate the invitation. I like to visit places where I have friends. There are a lot of friends of liberty out here and a lot of friends of peace. So I get energized with coming here. A lot of people give me some credit for coming and helping them along. But the truth is, I get energized. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for inviting me. You know, I was going to say that we've heard a lot of speeches and a lot of opinions, and everybody has joined in. I didn't hear anybody saying we need to expand the war. We're not doing well in Ukraine, but we need to take on the Russians. That'll go better. Oh, no, we need to go to China, and we're still struggling in Syria. No, nobody's for that. At least I haven't heard them. They didn't get a place. I hope they didn't ever get a place on the platform for that. So this has been, you know, wonderful to come to a place that comes together on this issue. But the one thing is that I've emphasized over the years when speaking in a couple of campaigns is that you know, it's serious. And we just heard a very serious dissertation about how serious the problem we deal with. But, you know, with that,
is he freestyling?
How serious this is, my admonition is always come together and have fun. And I understand a lot of people have been having fun today, meeting new people and joining. I think that's great.
Thank you, Ron Paul, sorry.
But you know, I also came because I've been concerned. I've been really worried about something, and I haven't figured it out yet. I'm not into technology and all, but I want to know more about this thing called artificial intelligence. What is that all about? But you know,
wait a second. Does he know why he's here? Does he know? Did somebody tell him what he's supposed to be here for? Did he forget? Wait, is it another comedy special? Wait.
I figured it out. I put up with it for 23 years in the Congress, and there was a lot of artificial intelligence over there, let me tell you.
Oh, it is a comedy bit. Okay. Nice one.
A lot of innuendos and whatnot. But you know, I wanted to simplify my speech, and of course somebody stole my line, but I think that we can deal with the war issue very simply. And believe me, and I'll explain it more why I believe this, that the answer is end the Fed.
What? You know there are other countries supporting Ukraine, right? Bada bing!
I knew there were friends here. So
wait.
How do they finance them? They have to tax the people. Well, they tax them with income taxes and all kinds of taxes, but they never have enough money. They never have enough money, so they have to borrow a lot of money, and then people get tired borrowing the money and loaning the money to the government. So what do? They have this little gimmick called run up the debt and print the money. And you know, if you're on the side of thinking our government is too big, and as libertarians, we generally think the government's too big all over the place, and we'd like to cut back. So if you can't print the money and you can't collect the tax,
I'm still wondering what this has to do with Ukraine.
And stealing the wealth from the people, unnerving the middle class and the poor, because that's who really pays for this. You couldn't have a war. You couldn't have runaway spending. You couldn't have debts. And
we're not in a war right now.
Constitution, and Jefferson argued for it. He said that you shouldn't even be allowed to have debt. I think that's a pretty good idea. No debt at all.
No, it was a terrible idea. It's actually a horrible idea. This is why every country has some debt. Not because they don't know how to not have debt. It's because some debt is good. As I don't know, it's weird. As somebody who bases their entire personality around like the moving of money, it's wild for me to imagine that people don't understand how like debt works, especially for a company or a country. Like debt for a company can be very good, and debt for a country can be even better. For some people who don't understand this, debt means that debt is a bargaining chip. That's a bargaining chip. But when somebody owes you, when you owe somebody money, they have a vested interest in you succeeding. You know why? So you can pay that back. If you fail, why would somebody give you money if they want you to fail? What sense does that make? If they wanted you to fail, they wouldn't give you money so you couldn't get in debt, but you wouldn't be able to like spend money to make money in the first place. They want their money back, unless you think everybody who's just like loaning out debt to the American government doesn't want it back, and they just want the government to pop or something. They want their money back. If you fail, they won't get their money back. And most of the debt that we hold in the country is most of the debt in the country is actually held by the individual and not the government. And the debt that the government holds is mostly held by is held intra-government as well. It's like taking money from one pocket, putting it in the other, and then slipping in an IOU to the first pocket. Debt trapping is the thing. Yes, I'm not talking about that like debt trapping. We're just talking about debt, period. There's no problem with some debt. If you have we're not talking about too much debt. We're just talking about having some debt. Having some debt is good. As a company and as like a country, having some debt is good. It is genuinely a good thing. The debt that you owe to your credit card company right now is not the same debt that like a country owes to another country. It's very different. We're like the world. The US dollar is the world currency. If we fail, the world fails. The world wants us to succeed because when we succeed, they succeed. That's how it works.
So that is the way they do. Soften it up, and the people go along with it and figure that, yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. All right, Grandpa. Very cool. Anyways, what's this?
Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What an incredible crowd. You know, it's a beautiful thing to see so many people from so many different walks of life unite today to come out and say it's time for Washington to stop prolonging this war in Ukraine.
Woo, yeah. Woo.
And it's such an honor to speak alongside so many incredible anti-war figures. People like Dennis Kucinich, Ron Paul, people who've been, let's hear it for them. These are people who've been working to bring an end to West Virginia down the river from the Radford Arsenal, getting thyroid cancer in their late 20s. And it wasn't until I saw this war in Ukraine up close, and I was on the receiving end of these American shells, that we are killing our own people at home to produce, that it came full circle for me.
Yeah, Wyatt. Is that his mom?
When I was asked to speak today, I knew immediately what I wanted to talk about, and that's the time I spent.
Weren't the speakers themselves like 10% of the crowd? Yes, they had 300, like 200 people, and 25 speakers. We haven't even touched on that yet. There are like so many it was like 4 hours long because everybody was given like 10 minutes to speak, and there were like 25 people who came up. It was just like speaker after speaker after speaker after speaker, like a non-insignificant part of the crowd were speakers. It's insane. It's wild to me. I don't know, man. It's just I think it's just kind of remarkable, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Oops, 1 second. All right.
Reporting from the Donbass recently, because for close to a month, I got a chance to see.
Yeah, we're not going to be watching all of them. I just wanted to take like a quick look at some of them.
And experience for myself exactly what those people have been going through. And not just since last February, but for 9 whole years. Nearly 15,000 people in these autonomous regions were killed before Russia got directly involved in this war last February.
What do you mean by directly involved? Russia's been backing separatists, and Russia's had literal troops on the ground in Donbass. Oh, he's lying. Oh, he's already lying. That's crazy. Who's shelling Donbass?
Now, since then, hundreds more civilians have been killed there as the Zelensky regime stepped up its bombing of the Donetsk and Lugansk republics, intentionally targeting civilian areas and residential buildings.
Do you have any proof of that whatsoever?
Only describe as state terrorism. I don't say this lightly, but it's the only conclusion I can draw after seeing the reality on the ground up close. I say that because within 2 hours of arriving in downtown Donetsk, I watched firsthand as my hotel was hit in an artillery strike 100 yards directly in front of me, with what I later found out was a NATO standard 155mm shell launched by Ukrainian militants. I say it because I was able to get access.
Wait. Was it Ukraine militants? Or wait. Was it the Ukraine military or was it Ukraine militants? What are you talking about? Was it people who were like fighting on behalf of Ukraine, or was it Ukraine themselves? What are you talking about? Boy, I love lying. If there's anything I love in the world, boy, it's lying. Here, one second. I'm going to show you something. It's incredibly interesting. Who is this guy? He's like a nobody. Just like 90% of the people talking. This is a really good video. Let's see.
Donbass. Whether it was the Baltic states or Ukraine or the Central Asian countries, the moment the people of these areas were given a choice of freedom and independence, they took it with both hands. Those same old mistakes had felled yet another empire. But Russia hadn't run out of chances yet. The 1990s were a time of chaos, but they also began as an era of promise. Make no mistake, Russia in 1990 had suffered immensely from the breakup of the Soviet Union, but a majority of the population supported independence and they supported Yeltsin. The nation was inevitably going to suffer a painful adjustment as it moved away from its status within the Soviet Union to being an independent country, but it still had so much states, or the People's Republic of China, can move into. In trying to win influence in Ukraine, Russia may have lost a
I do listen to the Australian PowerPoint man, yes.
Significant amount of pull elsewhere. Then there's one of the objectives that Putin put forward himself, protecting the people of the Donbass.
I found it.
All right, so let's just take this one literally and at face value. You may also have heard this argument as one in which Ukraine was shelling the Donbass relentlessly for years and Russia had to intervene. Okay, so let's look at the UN report here. In 2020, 8 civilians in the Donbass were killed on both sides of the dividing line by active hostilities. A further 17 were killed by mines and unexploded ordnance, and 1 by other causes, leaving a total of 26 civilians killed. In 2021, the figure of civilians killed by active hostilities, so shelling, was 7, and a further 12 were killed by mines and unexploded ordnance, for a total of 25. So the relentless shelling that is alleged was killing approximately 1 civilian every 2 months. That's obviously still a very real tragedy, but if death rates like that justify an invasion, I expect to see Russian paratroops in Chicago any day now.
Good ass meme. Now, if you want to hear a good joke, that's a good joke. This was never about protecting the Donbass. More people have died in the Donbass. If the war in Donbass would have continued the way that it was, less people would have died than what's going on now. An untold amount of people have died now. Untold amount.
So in order to save the population of the Donbass from suffering 7 civilian casualties from shelling and active hostilities per year, Russia, of course, launches its invasion. And if we look at the official statistics of the so-called Donetsk People's Republic, only covering their territory, not Luhansk, not the Ukrainian-controlled territories, and only what they will admit, over the course of 2022, 4,176 military personnel and 1,089 civilians were killed, directly as a result of military activities. Other sources suggest that the military casualties should in fact be far higher. But looking just at civilians, because that's who Vladimir Putin was presumably trying to protect, by invading, he has increased casualties in the Donetsk People's Republic, assuming all of those 7 killed in 2021 were in Donetsk, which isn't true. He has increased the casualty rate for civilians by 155 times. Many of the settlements in the Donbass are now ruins. That photo there is from April last year, I believe, of a town called Novotoshkivka. It looks like something out of The Walking Dead, frankly, and I'm sure whatever residents remain are feeling well and truly protected and liberated. The Donbass has suffered from shelling, bombing, and the DNR and LNR also from extensive conscription. We've talked before about how much of the male population was used as essentially disposable mobilized personnel long before Russia declared its own mobilization.
Yeah, and another really important thing is that Russia has been using like ethnic and political minorities in the country to funnel them into cannon fodder for like the war that they're going on. So like Russia had been like conscripting and recruiting like just scooping men up off the street. Like if you're 18, if you're like 16, 17, 18, like just scooping you up off the street and then just giving you like a rusty AK and then just throwing you at Bakhmut until you die for as long as this war has been going on. But they wouldn't officially talk about it. But like Donbass may never recover from this war, and it's because of Putin, because he never cared about them in the first place. Never has, never will. His grand strategy goes way beyond that. So yeah, never listen to people like this. That's some facts backed up with some very sad like Russian apologists cringing about how much he hates Ukraine. And it was really funny. Now remember, okay? Biden made an unannounced surprise visit to Kyiv while this was going on, and these guys lost their minds. They lost their minds. Wait, did you see Dingle called someone the F slur after his speech? Wait, is that true? I mean, I can't show you it, but here, wait.
Jackson Hinkle.
Hey Jackson, I came all the way up to Richmond to tell you you're a dork.
Oh yeah?
I can't play you the rest because he's like, you're a fucking, and then he says the F word. I came here to tell you you're a dork. Got him. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I mean, like, we all know that he couldn't give a shit less about minorities. So, I mean, he works for the Blaze now. It comes with the territory, right? And Biden's unannounced visit to Kyiv, a preview of an increasingly direct contest with Putin. Biden made a surprise visit to Ukraine the day after we organized the big war, the biggest anti-war rally since Iraq. We let that sink in. We got to them this week. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They're delusional. I forgot about that. They're delusional. Oh my gosh. Biden's been like planning to go to Ukraine for some time secretly. And they were going to make a surprise announcement, and it just happened to coincide when they were doing their war rally, and he was like, this is it. I see. Biden saw our rally, and then he had to go, oh no, the YouTubers are coming after us. The YouTubers are going to change the country. The YouTubers are going to stop the military industrial complex. I got to do something. And then Biden quickly ran to Air Force One, and he flew all the way to Ukraine. Oh man. He was like, oh shit, dude, Jimmy Dore and Jackson Hinkle they're gonna stop the war machine, man. They're gonna overrun the country, man. The YouTubers are coming for us. I gotta do something about this. Oh my shit, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, and literally literally 8 hours ago, Hinkle like posted like a crazy transphobic video of what he alleged to be a trans militant in Ukraine, like an American trans militant in Ukraine. He put like the woman's name in quotes, Sarah, and then didn't want to like misgender by saying he. So instead of that, he just said it. He was just calling like a trans person an it. That's crazy. That shit's crazy. Hinkle's been transphobic for months now. My gender is kiss my ass. My pronouns are fuck you. My gender is kiss my. Oh man, hating trans people won't get your parents to love you. Stop Jonah Hill from making it. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Somebody quote tweeted Hinkle. Somebody commented under like Hinkle's post. Holy shit, look at this. Hating trans people won't get your parents to love you and or stop Jonah Hill from making your ex-girlfriend happier than you ever could. Oh my gosh, dude. Yo, if you don't know what this is about, Hinkle's parents are literally in his comment section telling him to like shut up. Like Hinkle will post like a crazy misogynistic take and he's like 23 or something. He's not even that old. And his mom will be like, whatever happened to the happy, respectful son that I raised? This isn't like you. You're, and then like his dad will be like, stop tweeting stuff like this. You're making your mom sad. And he just won't stop. Also his ex-girlfriend like broke up with him and then started dating Jonah Hill. That's an actor, right? Singer, songwriter. Actor, playwright, what musician? Who's Jonah Hill? What does he do? Does anybody know? He's an actor, yeah. And like she started dating like an actor instead of broke up with him and started dating an actor. So and now he's just like working for the Blaze, making pro-Russia content. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, his mom will be like, stop being mean to women. I didn't raise you to be a horrible person to women. It's crazy. Wild stuff. Quite sad, I must say. Another L. Yeah, these guys are completely delusional. They think that they influence he thinks that YouTubers influence the president of the United States to take a trip to an active war zone. It's remarkable. Oh, and on this note, this is what I said earlier, that they actually got onto Rachel Maddow. Some people were like Rachel, sorry. Some people didn't know, but he actually made it onto Rachel Maddow. Yeah. After the whole like cringe ass rally, Rachel Maddow was like, look at these freaks copping for like a totalitarian state. And Jimmy Dore got really angry about it.
And I mean truly random rally on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. A rally in support of Russia, I guess, given all the Russian flags. At least a rally against the U.S. supporting Ukraine in trying to stand up against the Russian invasion of their country. This was a tiny event. It was small. It was a weird assemblage of Americans. There were Proud Boys there. There were some of the white supremacist groups you'd recognize from the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville.
Oh, they're 2%ers?
A few years.
Sorry, no, they're like 3%, like Second Amendment people. What the hell? What in the world is this? What in the world is this? Like fundamentalist constitutionists standing next to like pro-Russian shills. Okay, buddy.
Years ago, also represented prominently the remains of the bizarre Lyndon LaRouche cult. There were a lot of people with Russian flags, also the occasional flag of the former Soviet Union. Also, at least one person who guest hosts.
I love imperialism.
On the Fox News Channel was there as a featured speaker.
You know what? That's what we should call Tulsi Gabbard right now. Like a Fox News contributor, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, even Tulsi was there. Do not think that she's pretty. She is simply a bad person. And she hates trans people. Very sad.
There were anti-vaccine conspiracy theorists, a lot of them. There were cryptocurrency promoters.
Oh, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but Jimmy, we like, you can check this out from a while ago. We made a video about this a while ago on, like, go to the channel. You can like search up like Jimmy Dore, the last Jimmy Dore video we made. We went through all of Jimmy Dore's like confirmed conspiracies and the conspiracy theories that he like confirmed believed. And he believes that 9/11 was an inside job. Remember the Las Vegas shooting? He believes that that was faked by like the State Department. He believes in aliens as well. He's just insane. That's why he's crazy on the COVID thing and the vaccine thing, because it's a part of his like weird conspiracy. He's adding it to his list of weird conspiracy theories that he believes.
It was a really weird group. It was a small rally and a weird one. But that's what it looks like. That's the assemblage of short straws and split ends and loose change and loose electrons that's advocating in this country that Russia's in the right in this war and America should be on Putin's side as he keeps invading other countries.
I love invading countries.
I mean, no disrespect
it's so
to
based.
the Americans who turned out as part of this small event this weekend, but it's not like they represent a big constituency that is arguing for this pro-Russia point of view.
That's it? Oh man, that's it. Maddow is straight up a psychopathic warmonger. That's actually not hyperbole. She's pretending that NATO and the US did not intentionally provoke this war. How? It's just strange because Russia was at its strongest point that it's ever had been geopolitically since like the height of the and I'm not even like joking. The Russian Federation was at its strongest geopolitical point that it had been since like the peak of the Cold War. At no other point in time in like Russia's history outside of like the old Tsar days was Russia stronger than it was like in the Putin era all the way up to like him declaring war on Ukraine back in 2022. Like we were like I said, like Nord Stream was being built. Russia was a part of like the Security Council and everything, and they inherited all of this stuff from the Soviet Union. Their economy was growing really well. They were a part of like the global market way more. Europe was closing in on being completely self-reliant when it comes to oil on Russia. It was just Russia was like closing its grip on like NATO was shook. NATO was like near falling apart. Okay. it's kind of interesting. It's like what Britain did with with the European Union. The European Union has almost never been stronger than it is right now. And same with NATO. NATO hasn't been stronger than it has been since like the height of the Cold War. Really? Like, people were thinking about dipping out of NATO until this happened. And now now what? Sweden and Norway are trying to join? Other countries are thinking about joining NATO that are around Russia? Like, it's wild to me. He's rejuvenized the, what is it, like Baltic 9 or something? What's this called? It's like what's it called? The something 9? Does anybody know? What are those 9 countries? They're in like a group pact together to help protect themselves from Russia. You remember their name? No, not the Baltic states. No, they're not here. I don't know geography. Not just the Balkans. Not the G8. One second. I watched a video on it the other day. Yes. Thank you. The Bucharest 9. Thank you. I appreciate. I knew somebody knew what was going on. My goodness. Oh man. It finally happened.
Let's talk about the president's visit. He has been giving speeches, he's made that secret visit to Ukraine, but today he's meeting a group of nations known as the Bucharest 9, which, as you pointed out earlier, quite a lot of people wouldn't have heard of as a group before. Explain their significance and what was being discussed today.
Yeah, so it was formed in 2015 by Poland and Romania because of the Russian invasion of Crimea, the seizure of Crimea, and it was the border states, and it's a good grouping, and given that the American president was there, it makes sense to have another declaration to strengthen it. The more declarations you can have, the better, because they all say essentially the same thing. Behind that is the fact that this goes from north to south, and it brings out the fact that the northern members of NATO or wherever it is in Europe, they have a slightly different agenda. The northern members worry about Russia, they worry about the North Atlantic. The southern members tend to worry about illegal migration, economic development, what's happening in the Western Balkans, which looks as if it might blow up again. And so their agendas are different. Holding them together is easy in a big declaration, but behind that declaration, I think there will be some tensions, which we may hear about in the next week or two.
It's crazy because none of these countries want to be a part of Russia again, because they know that if Ukraine goes down, they know they're next. Okay, Poland's like whole history is like trying to have a happy life and then getting shitted on. Okay, it happened with Nazi Germany. It happened with Russia, and then Russia again, and then Russia another time, and then Rome. Like these people, all they do is get shitted on. Okay, yeah, Poland just wants a reason, dude. Poland is sick and tired. Like in the 1900s, wasn't like a good chunk of the 1900s, Poland wasn't even a fucking country. They didn't even have a country. They had to get remade again. Dude, Poland's borders changed like 100,000 times in the last like 100 years of European history. They're done. They're done. Okay? They hate Russia. They already hate that they have a border with Russia. It's right here. But now they're going to have it. But if like Ukraine goes down, they're going to have another one. And they basically have another border with Russia due to Belarus basically being like a little like baby state that's near completely controlled by Russia. They were in the country until 1920. Yeah, it's crazy. They're done. Can NATO be like? Yeah, they're sick. They're sick and tired of it. So yeah, I mean, makes perfect sense. Oh, jeez. Rachel Maddow jump scare. Rachel Maddow jump scare. So yeah, well, that's the little rally. A small rally who's 25 a small rally who's like 10 to 20% of the audience was made up of people who were speakers there. It lasted way too long, way smaller than they expected, and was simply just full of cope. Very unfortunate. Very fortunate for the world that we now know that these people have absolutely no pull and nobody cares about anything that they have to say. But cringe for them, honestly, for even thinking that they could pull this off and it mean anything in the first place. I just think it sucks. It just sucks that we can't even come together on like people not dying, you know? If we can't even do that, it's sad. And it's so sad that even Caleb Maupin has started to create conspiracy theories about why it was so bad.
Yeah, the consciousness is there.
Well, and the fact that they could get those numbers that they got after there was an online, I mean, we all saw it. You know, I went off social media for the last week before the rally. They pulled out all the stops to make people afraid to go to this rally.
They sure did.
You know, if you were a leftist, you were hit with all kinds of people telling you this was a racist, white supremacist Ku Klux Klan rally. You were a libertarian, they pulled out all the stops to try and tell you this was a rally to support Russian imperialism and communism and
pedophiles.
And, yeah, and all of this. And
we straightened that out with Scott Ritter the other night.
Remember when we talked about how Maupin invited a literal Nazi and also how they were going to have a literal convicted pedophile speaking? Like, this isn't hard. You had to cancel somebody because you invited a literal convicted pedophile.
2 and 3 hours.
Yeah, a few years from now, we'll have the release. There'll be some documents leaked, or we'll just get it through the Freedom of Information Act, and we'll find out that the Pentagon.
Oh yeah, and then invited a Jews did 9/11 truther. What are you talking about?
Pentagon troll farm decided this rally shouldn't happen. And
twice convicted.
The funny thing was, there were a lot of these leftist groups that were denouncing the rally, and they're saying, oh, you know, we've been having rallies for years. Yeah, no one's noticed. This rally was far more of a threat to the status quo than the kind of routine small protests that are called by the Answer Coalition, you know, all the time that no one even notices. I mean, the status quo was terrified to have Tulsi Gabbard, Judge Napolitano.
So true. They were so scared. As you see, the reason why not that many people went is because everybody was feared into not going, you see. Everybody was too scared to go. They really wanted to go because they hate this rush. They hate all this anti-Russia stuff. But and nuclear war, but they just couldn't because they stopped them. You know how it is. He's bad-mouthing the Answer protests. It's not like any of these people actually care. It's just crazy how this like literal predator is back being headlining for his thing he's got going on, his little PP USA. Quite sad, and I hope people do not join it because you will be preyed upon, and that's and I wish the best for you. Okay, even if I disagree with you, I do not wish for you to be preyed upon. I do not wish for you to be preyed upon. Wait a second, really? Wait, they're running with this whole narrative?
So I'm encouraged by the Rage Against the War Machine rally.
Yeah, and maybe that's why Biden left town. He got out of town and went to visit his friend Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine to.
Holy shit, they actually think YouTubers threatened the president of the United States into traveling halfway across the world to a war zone. Yep, I bet, dude.
I saw estimates of the crowd between 1 and 5,000. I saw estimates.
Wait, we've been looking at that crowd all night. He unironically believes that there were 5,000 people there. That's crazy. Remember when I said earlier, don't count the people who were just there to see the Lincoln Memorial? Even though they were kind of standing around, they were not part of the rally whatsoever. Yeah, I saw about like 1 to 5,000. It's so sad. The cope is so bad, dude. I couldn't imagine being them. Could not be me. Technically true. There were like 1 to 5,000 people there. Now, were they a part of the rally? No, that'd be maybe questionable, but they were there. All right. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.